Hey, I did the wrong mic again. How's everybody doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. Whew. So, we have a special bonus live stream this week because I need your help. That's right, your help. And I need to open up some of this. It's a little dark in here. So, I am partnering up with a platform. I can't say which platform yet, but you'll know shortly. That is leasing my 100 algorithm challenge course. They're going to put it on there and release it to some people, make sure that more people can learn from the 100 algorithm challenge course, which has been almost as a 5-star. It's got like a 4.7 or something like that of, hundreds of students enrolled. And one thing is that on Udemy, people like to simply just put 5 stars and go, and that is appreciated. If you don't get me twisted, it's appreciated when you go out and give your boy 5 stars. And honestly, if there's anything that you can give back to me, is give my course a 5-star rating, get it out there. It helps so much, like you would not believe. But I need a favor from you guys. What I need, what I need from you is that if you have taken my course and you don't mind giving a recommendation and having your name attached to it. So let's say Master of the Mash has taken my 100 algorithm challenge either in the chat or in the comments of the video after the fact, typing out the your review and saying, something positive, and being okay with that being on like a promotion page. So, be like, Master of the Mash says Dylan made me $50,000 taking his course. No, but something like really learned algorithms, got better at JavaScript. I need a couple of those. I want to send over, and I just want to. We could take some off the course site, but I kind of need it in like 2 days because that's when it's going to launch, and we want to get permission to do these things. So if it's something that you guys are open to, that'd be really appreciated, which is why we are doing this secondary live stream today early for you to get that out there, to help you. But this isn't about what I need, because this is our Ask a Dev weekend AMA Q&A. But yeah, man, how's everybody doing? It's pretty exciting stuff. It's the first time I've leased to one of my courses. But if you want to leave me a comment, it'd be appreciated. On other news, Eric and I are getting real close to launching. Getting real close to launching our podcast, Self-Taught or Not. We the website's like 50% together, but we just used Transistor FM to do the website. Did a little bit of custom CSS, nothing crazy, and on the about page. Drop some knowledge. I'll try to drop some knowledge. But so the Self-Taught or Not podcast is coming soon, like 2 weeks soon. And we're going to be dropping, I think the plan, Eric and I right now, is to drop the first 5 episodes and then an episode a week until we hit 24 episodes. It's good, man. We're going to hit you with some of that fire, all right? Don't you worry. The fire is a-coming. It's going to drop pretty soon, so I'm very excited to share that with you guys. Lots of cool stuff is happening lately, man. We just launched the 100 technical front-end screen questions. I gotta change that title. That title's too long. I mess it up all the time. The 100 front-end interview technical questions or questions challenge. It's a great course, and it's going to get you prepped, and you're going to kill it. But we launched that last month. This month, bye, Cronzy. I see you, man. Bye. This month, we're gonna launch probably launch the podcast. 100% was it 6? Yeah, we're launching the podcast this month. Also, leasing a course for another site. That's pretty solid. April goes to a boot camp. April's my girlfriend, of course. Is the 100 algorithm challenge the 100 front end interview question challenge on Udemy? Yes. You can get it for $9.99 using the link in the description below, or coupon code Coding Guide. But yeah, man, I got to turn the AC on. It's pretty hot. Just 10 cents a question. And not only that, so the front end interview question challenge, there's about so we include a free introduction to the solid principles as well, which is pretty cool. So you guys can get up and learn about solid. Which, by the way, learning the solid principles and actually applying them took me from making $75,000 a year to about 130. Just made me so much of a better developer. That and clean code. People say, what makes a good dev? From clean code, solid principles testing, doubled my income. Did I work with SVGs? On occasion, not very often though. Felicio, how's it going? So, but yeah. So in that course, not only do we have a free introduction to Git and the solid principles, we also go over interview tips and tricks, as well as questions asked at the end, which I think is good. You're going through hell trying to figure out how to style SVGs with CSS. Good luck, man. Most of the time, you don't style SVGs. You just have something that's made as an SVG that you inject and then you tweak it. Like really making an SVG from scratch is like UI UX or designer sort of realm. And they don't even necessarily do it. What they do is they'll use like Adobe. They'll use like Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop to make a vector graphic, and then they export it as a SVG, and then it gets converted over. Now, that's not to say that you can't make manual SVGs, and people have done some really crazy stuff, but that's typically the workflow. It's hot. It's all difficult until after a lot of practice. That's right. That's 100% right. So people all the time are like, it's like, here's the thing, man. I have seen April improve so dramatically in the last 25, 30 days because she's been working at it every single day. Every single day, every single day, every single day. She still doesn't take me seriously when it comes to it. Like I'm trying to explain this stuff to her, and she just laughs at me. This is why I couldn't teach her to code. She just there's a dynamic in a relationship where, so like in a healthy relationship, you're equals, right? April and I are equals for the most part, right? And so, so what in a in a teacher-student relationship, you are not equals, and I am the superior. You are the person learning, and so I am speaking to you and educating you. Right? We're not equals, and it changes the dynamic of the relationship. She just can't handle it. I don't know that she can't handle it. That's probably a bad way of putting it. It's just not how a relationship works a lot of times, and so it's been one of the things I think that's made me caused me to fail in helping her with her coding education. But yeah, she is learning to code. She is enrolled in Lambda school. She is doing the prep work. Has 3 sections left, and then a coding challenge, and should be started in September. What are the solid principles though? I've done a whole video series on the solid principles and clean code. Code like a pro. This is one of the things I'm most proud of. My dad tried to teach my mom to drive, which included screaming, "Just relax, it's easy." I am. So I bought a site. You guys want to hear it? This is real stuff. I bought a site. I was so frustrated at one point with some developers that I've worked with at previous jobs, where I just was so upset that they refused to write clean code, like clean JavaScript, that the idea occurred to me. I wonder if clean JavaScript is a URL that exists, and no one owned it, so I bought it for like $10 on GoDaddy, and I'm going to go and create a site probably sometime this year. It depends. I got my hands tied with DevDocs, video DevDocs, and so which is my side project I've been live streaming. Which if I wasn't trying to do this and do our early mentoring session to see if you guys could leave me some reviews in the comments or in the chat so that I could share them on my review page. Appreciate it. I'd be doing that, but I will be dedicating clean JavaScript to several developers I've worked with in an effort to hope to shame them into getting better. After learning Node.js and various tools associated with backend, should I start applying jobs or pick up a front end framework? You should do both. Start applying for jobs and pick up a front end framework. My bad angel is saying there's a market for dirty JavaScript, but let's not. Yeah, see, tech shaming. It's not tech shaming. It's education. No, I'm not gonna actually do that. But that's what my bad angel says, right? That's what the Hey man, put him on blast, Dylan. Put him on blast. Let him know. Let him know, Dylan. I can't do that. I did buy that URL though. I fully plan to make cleanjavascript.com, and it's just going to be a bunch of examples dedicated to writing clean code and utilizing JavaScript to its fullest to make clean, maintainable, and testable code. That's all it's going to be. Simple thing. I just got to get around to it. Yeah, man. Dude, I was dying. Did anyone see Joshua Fluke's video about that? You know, Joshua Fluke did a video about he did a video about what was it? This college that master's program, and it was like $60,000, and they were listing their benefits and it said printing, and I was dying. I was dying without. I was like 60K or so for, and you're gonna list printing as a benefit? Come on, man. Do you know how much I could print for 60K? A house. I could print a house for 60K. Oh my god. Hey Dylan, computer science or software engineering? What do you think? I'd go software engineering. I think you're gonna pick up more practical stuff. I actually think you're gonna enjoy the major more as well. Computer science very theoretical. You don't really need it. Yeah. That'd be like, I don't know, man. Do I plan on learning Flutter? Not unless I need to. Yeah. Follow me. You can't go wrong with either one. The computer science, software engineering, both excellent majors. Both majors which are going to lead you into software and tech and make you have a nice, good career that has good job growth, good salary growth, all that good stuff. So. Jason Rivera says, "Hey Dylan, about a year ago, I gave my thanks over chat for getting my first dev job. I got my second dev job with a 15K pay raise. Thanks for the great content and advice. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you for stopping by and letting me know. That's good stuff, man. Dedication. That's all it takes. A little bit of hard work. Jason, if you've taken my 100 algorithm challenge, can you go leave a review on it and let me know so I can use it in a thing? That's how you could thank me. I'd appreciate it. That's all I want. But no, good on you, Jason." What did I learn from Joshua Fluke's channel? I wouldn't say I learned anything from Joshua Fluke's channel. It just reaffirms a lot of what I already believe, and I just enjoy myself watching it. So much to learn. I just want to get the full stack FCC cert and then build tons of stuff until confident. So one thing I'll say is you kind of have a flawed outlook on this. You want to apply much sooner than before you're confident. Just so you see where you're at, see where your weaknesses are, and also you might find a role much earlier. So there's no reason to wait, and you're gonna stack up much quicker once you're working in the field. So I definitely would say don't wait until you feel confident, because that day may never come. Do you think you're one of the better hardworking devs on your team? I wouldn't say that, because I mean, I imagine all the devs on my team work hard at work. Do I probably work on side projects more than everybody else? Yeah, I think that's a fair statement, but that doesn't mean they're bad devs. That just means that how I've chose to utilize my time is by growing a personal brand, by creating passive income, by continuing my software skills. Um, and it's paid off significantly. I went from my very first job of 62,000 to, if you count my benefits, I'll probably be closer to 130 in like 2.5 years. And so, and that's in the Florida market, right? We're not in SF. So, um, you know, you think about something like that, then that's the reason I've been putting so much time in since I've got hired day one. And it's not easy, man. April all the time tells me I need to spend more time with her and the pets and are enjoying life, and she's not wrong. But I when I came down to Florida, about a year before I came down to Florida and before I was a dev, I dropped out of college. So when I dropped out of college, there's no going back, right? We pulled the trigger. There's no going back after you pull the trigger. You're all in. All right. So I'm all in. I said to myself, I said, Dylan, we're going to work every single day for 5 years, whether we have a software job, whether we don't have a software job. Every single day, we're going to work for 5 years. I'm not talking about going to a job 40 hours a week. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having a job outside your job, 40 hours, keep on working every single day, and we're going to see where that can get us. And we're about 4 years into that, almost 4 years, and I plan on sticking to it. So I got about another year of hard work every single day. A year and a half, I think, maybe a year and 3 months. I don't remember exactly when I dropped out of college. I'd have to go got to pull up the old charts. But we're there. We're at that point where we stuck to what we said we were going to do. Our career has progressed because of it. Our side projects have progressed because of it, and it's been a great experience. I've been enjoying it. It's been hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. Let me explain to you my day today. This is just a standard day for me. I wake up I work from home today, so that's nice, right? No drive to work. And on the days I don't drive to work, do I go? I relax? No. I spend an hour in the morning answering emails, getting caught up on stuff I'm going to do this weekend, projects, talk to sponsors, whatever. Um, After that, what I do is I go to work from 7:30 to about 4:30. Cool. From about 5:15, in between 4:30 and 5:15, I eat dinner. From about 5:15 to about until this podcast, or excuse me, until this live stream started, I was talking with some people that I'm working with, and I had to film some content for them, sent that over, answer some emails, respond back to some people interested in mentoring, and now here we are doing a live stream for about an hour, which will wrap up around 8. I'm in at bed at 8 or 8:30, 9 at the latest if I get caught stuck in on something. And in between all that, besides maybe 20 minutes watching Hearthstone videos or MMA news and dinner, just keep on growing and going and going and going and going. But that's what I signed up for. I said 5 years every single day. And it's not easy. Sometimes I have to remind April to remember. No exercise. I actually just so with the dogs, we go on a lot more walks, which isn't the greatest thing. But I've actually reached out to a gym to get a membership. So April and I are going to integrate, go start going to the gym a couple days a week. I gotta go down there this weekend, check it out, sign the paperwork, and then starting Monday, we'll have a gym membership. So, because I do miss working out, I really do. I definitely felt better, healthier. Um, I've been getting fat too. I'll be honest with you. Uh, there's something. There's definitely a direct correlation between weight gain and lifestyle. Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting though. So but yeah, man. So that's what I'm. So if there's one thing I can tell you guys is work very hard for the first 5 years of your career, and you'll set yourself up for an easy 15 or 20. That's really it. Because even now, I don't make a ton of money, but I make. Let's say this year I'll probably make 30 to 40 grand from side incomes and stuff like that. That's not bad, man. That's additional revenue. And that's stuff that I've created and won't really have to work on. I'm not familiar. CRM, are those like content management systems? Customer relationship management? Yeah, I don't use any CRMs. Salesforce? Yeah, no, I haven't used Salesforce. Nope, I haven't used any of those. Yeah. Any beginner web development resources better than free Codecamp? No, not really. Not in terms of like interactive tutorials. You lost about 7K in stock and not even stressed about it. Is it okay to graduate from a college, not a university? I don't even have a college degree, so I imagine it would be. I did Google what a yeah. Any money in doing WordPress templates? There's always money in everything. That toe though, it's a nice toe. um, I mean, the question is like, what do you define as money? Um, like beginner question. I made all my text boxes for an apps using text area, but I need to take in a number, perform a calculation, then return another number. So you're going to want to have an input of type number. There's also you can sync it up with a button to do a calculation. I've never had to do it before, but it is a thing in HTML. So you're going to want to look into that as well. I think you could do it with just JavaScript, or excuse me, just HTML. I don't even think you need JavaScript. Jones Wall, I heard you say that April's going to Lambda School. That much videos saying Dead Mountain was a sponsor. What's up with that? Well, although I'm very proud of what Dev Mountain does, April wants to do it online. Dev Mountain doesn't do online currently. So that's sort of just in terms of what was going on and the income sharing agreement. Although I'm sure I could work something out with Dev Mountain. April wants to do it from home. You graduated from Lambda School last week? Jonas, did you leave a comment on my, I swear someone, on my Udemy course? Someone left a comment on my Udemy course. I think his name was Jonas. I don't remember his last name was Walden. Trying to see now. I think I applied to Lambda School. They turned me down. I left a review. Would you mind if we used your review on? Because I remember it being a very quality review. Would you mind if we used your review on a promotion page for it, for a site? That's fine with me, no problem. Do you have a picture? If not, if you don't want to use a picture, that's fine. But if you have a picture that, like a professional photo or something, whatever, like a photo you would use on LinkedIn, that we could use as well, that'd be dope. Would it be faster to get a job as front end dev than continue learning back end if my goal is full stack, or should I just learn front and back and then apply? I would just learn one or the other and start applying, and pick up the other stuff down the road. Have I picked up the GitHub command line tool? I have in the past. I don't know. I just do everything in terminal now. Best thing to have on a portfolio as a web developer to impress a future employee. Have a very integrate a third-party API, build a CRUD app, service workers, client-side caching. If you're going for the progressive web app stuff, using a framework of your choice. That'd be really the things I'd try to hit. But yeah, Jonas, do you have a photo or something that we can attach with it? Like, this is what Jonas Walden said. Oh, we are friends on LinkedIn, huh? Straight out of Florida too. All right, cool. I'm gonna rip your photo off of LinkedIn if that's cool with you, and I'll give it to him. I appreciate that, man. And thank you for leaving such a good review. By far, it was the best review I've gotten. It really does do well. Not only do 5-star reviews do well when people see that, so you can reference some things. Dylan, you are way better than my college professors. Thanks for the advice, man. I know, man. I've been in college too. So I know exactly what it's like with college professors. I remember my college professor told me I'd be writing something like 10 or 20 lines of code a day. Okay. Okay. It's like, look, man, when they punched hole cards to write code, they wrote more than 10, 20 lines a day. On a busy day, 20 lines a day. Yeah, man, that's basically how he sold it. I was like, okay. Oh, man. I'm not saying my professors were all bad. I had 2 professors that I were really cool, man. I forget. I think his name was John. I forget his name. It's been so long. But he was like maybe early 40s, and from what I could tell, he went back to school for computer science, became a teacher in it. It was really dope, man. He taught me introductory courses. They were all good to me. Like I remember him, and I want to say his name was Keenan. Keenan was another professor of mine. He had a bachelor's in computer science, but was teaching to pursue his master's, which they were paying for, and he I remember them being very cool to me. When I had questions, they teach me. I remember I remember grinding. Like, I had to work, man. So a lot I would advise anybody who's in a computer science program to do your best not to have a job while you're doing it, because it's hard, man. If you're in a real program, it's a lot. It's hard, especially if you don't come from that sort of world, which I didn't. So I remember working 2, 3 jobs, and like, you know, teacher would assign extra credit last minute. Need it due. You can do it tomorrow, and I'd go to him I go to him after class and be like, hey, I have to work tonight, man. Can I get one extra day? Because I want to do it. I do, but like, I gotta pay for food, tuition. I gotta get rent. Like, and they would work with me, man, and like, they'd answer my emails, and they'd be answering emails. I know. Now looking back, they'd be answering emails for shit that I didn't even know what I was asking. So when I say that, you know, there was a lot of college professors that were very good to me, but college just ain't for me. That doesn't mean that they all did a bad job. Many did, but not all. And most of it isn't their fault. It's the program's fault that forces you to learn stupid shit you're never going to use. Um, do you think learning Angular helped me understand how MVC works, or is that backwards thinking? I think learning MVC will make you understand how Angular works. Torrance says, hey Dylan, I'm new to this. I have all this theoretical, but no practical knowledge. Now I'm looking for a job. Where to start? So first I'd start by building something. Figure out what you want to build. Is there something you've ever been interested in? Something you've ever wanted to build? Go build it and figure out what it's going to take and start it today. Start a unique side project. Build something, and you'll learn something. Got a web dev internship part-time while in school? Yeah. But by and large, college was a miserable experience. Oh my god, I wasted so much time in college. In software engineering, we study 4 different kind of difficult, purely theoretical mathematics subjects. I suppose I won't need to solve complicated calculus to be a web dev. Most likely not. I mean, every business is different. But I've done in math. So I did 2 physics of 3 physics courses. I did intermediate algebra, college algebra, um, stats, geometry, calc 1, 2, and 3, discrete mathematics. I don't know how many maths that was. Do you know what I use math wise? Addition, subtraction, minus, multiplication, division, modulo. That's it. So I would say if you understand college algebra, that'll be the majority of what you need to know. Can you explain the purpose of Angular, JS, and React.js? Angular and React are what's called a JavaScript framework. The reason they exist is to make manipulating the front end easier, and they typically include a couple different features. One of which is to do two-way data binding, which essentially means that we're going to allow you to manipulate the HTML, which will reflect in the JavaScript, and manipulate the JavaScript to reflect in the HTML, as well as routing so that we can make it a single page application, which means it's not going to do a full page refresh whenever you go to a different route. It may load additional resources, but it's not going to do a full page refresh. So it's going to be faster, although there may be a little bit of upfront loading time. Any tips for starting YouTube? Come up with a list of what your first 10 videos are going to be. And then make the first one. And then immediately start on the next one and set a reasonable schedule of like one video a week, one video every 2 weeks, something that you can make sure that you stick to. If I have free college from a GI Bill, do you think enrolling will help me get a job? Yeah, college will always help you get a job. Not once will I tell you that college isn't going to benefit you. It's just it's a time cost analysis. So like, let's say the average student spends 5 years in college and it costs them $40,000. If you spend 5 years studying web dev on your own and $40,000, would you have a dev job before then? And if so, would your income gap increase, decrease based off that? Why would you skip free college? It's a time cost. It's not so time. Just because college doesn't cost anything monetarily doesn't mean that it's not costing you money or time. Because if you spend, let's just say you graduated 4 years in a CS degree program. Let's say you studied for a year on your own and then got a job 1 year later. So you studied and in 1 year you went from zero to job, making $40,000. You now, over 3 years, first year you make 40,000, second year you make 50,000, third year you make 60,000. You've now made $150,000 pre-tax in 3 years compared to your college degree, which you'll probably graduate and make 60,000 then. So you're $150,000 up. And in those 4 years, you could not only go and get a dev job, you could go start working and then go back to college for free part-time if you really wanted it because you were worried about long-term. And in those 4 years, in those additional 3 years, you can also start side projects making additional information. If you lazy load an app, would the default page always be non-lazy? No, not necessarily. So in my video dev docs, what I do is I load the main core dependencies of the application and I lazy load the home page. I lazy load every single view. So, but yeah, no, not necessarily. Because what if you're like you have a social media page, people are going to your social media page, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're not. Although 90% of people are probably hitting your website from the homepage, that's not always the case. Do you recommend any books to get good at programming? I do recommend the Clean Code and the Clean Coder. You can get links in the description to them both. I'd also recommend, it sounds, Torrance, like you're just getting going, to start the Complete Software Developer's Career Guide, which there's a link in the description for that as well. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go to college. I'm just saying that these are things you should think about. Not everything, going to college, look, man, I understand wanting to go to college. I really do. As someone who has dropped out of college twice, as someone who has been turned down for roles that they shouldn't have been because he doesn't have a degree, as somebody who, that degree bigotry is what I want to call it, because that's what it is. It's, if I can do the job and you just don't want to give it to me because I don't have a degree, it's bigotry. All right, that's what it is. Anyhow, I understand, especially early on in your career when you are very prone to imposter syndrome. It's just one of those things where you just have to think about it before making that decision. Do I need math for web programming? Just college algebra. What do you do when you get stuck at a point when you code? I try to research a solution. I think about how how I'm architecting what I'm doing and if I'm doing something poorly. Live streaming, building the web app today. No time today. Oh, it's pretty cool. We're now doing the services. So I'm doing this live stream instead. I also did like 2 hours of meetings. So by the time this ends in about 20 minutes, it's 8 o'clock. I actually scarfed down some food because this meeting came up last second. Do you think me getting a Dreamweaver certificate will give me a job? No, I don't think so, man. I don't think I can answer the questions over and over. Yeah. It's part of the job, though, Kevin. Part of the job, man. But that's what I'm here for, man. This is why I do. So I do these live streams to give back, right? Um, they're not a good use of my time. They don't get high views. They don't. Um, they don't necessarily provide any direct value to me. But what I do them is so that the 30, 50, 60 people, whoever many show up, so that the people who want to get better, because I'll tell you how to get better, because I know the blueprint. I know it, and I've done it, and it works great. And it's work. And as someone who's gone from making $12,000 a year to $150,000 a year, I can help you get out of 12,000 and at least get you to 50. All right, like I know what I'm doing. Um, would you say it was easier to learn to code from books or looking at online material and sample code? Videos and building things. That's how I learned, and it's much easier than books. Books are more about high level things, concepts, and that's what I recommend. So build things, and then when you want to level up your code and not necessarily learn specific things, like I'll give you an example of what I would watch a video for: JavaScript. What I would read a book for: clean code. Things that are going to be principle based, that are high level, and then I have to figure out how to apply them outside of that. How to prepare for a coding interview? It depends, but I have 2 courses dedicated to it on Udemy: the 100 algorithm challenge and the 100 front end technical screen questions to get you prepped. Sometimes download MP3 of you live stream and listen to it as a podcast. Look forward to the Self Taught or Not podcast coming soon, 2 weeks. How do you feel about using templates for clients? Hey man, if they're going to pay you to do it, do what you need to do, I guess. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't feel right unless they were cool with it. If you guys trying to style SVG that already had styling, so nothing was working. Yeah, Leak Code's a great resource. Code Signal, HackerRank. There's a bunch of resources out there. Did I ever feel burnt out before studying code before you got your first developer position? Once or twice, yeah, man. I remember. So, like I mentioned, I was all in when I pulled the trigger. And the craziest thing about it was just that consistency, that hours upon hours, and getting stuck on things like basic algorithms and not understanding APIs. And when I couldn't understand what an API was, I was sitting at my keyboard crying, legitimately crying. It didn't matter if I watched a video about it. It didn't matter if I tried to build it, I'd read the documentation. I just didn't get what an API was, and I just remember sitting there crying, absolutely crying out of frustration. Um, and I remember multiple times trying to solve things on a whiteboard much smaller than this one, uh, and being like trying to reverse a string and just not understanding what to do, what to use, how to do it. And I was like, it starts here, it ends here. I can't figure out this middle part. And I just remember that so vividly. I would say it was burnout, though. It was more frustration. Um, yeah, it's not the size of my wife where I use it. Yep, that's true, man. But yeah, there's definitely maybe once or twice, man, where I really doubted that I was gonna get there. And it was about 6 weeks before I started applying, and April and I were just rekindling, and I was sort of at my rock bottom because I was 6 months in. I had quit my, I had quit my, I dropped out of college. I'm working this job at a software place doing like documentation and like business analyst stuff. And I just remember feeling like a loser. Um, I was trying so hard, but I was just feeling like such a loser. And things are rocky between April and I, and I don't exactly remember what was said, but I just, you have that vulnerable moment, and she's like, "Well, are you doing everything you can?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "All right, you're gonna get there," and like that was all I needed to hear. That was it, man. You know, she could have taken that moment and said, "You ain't shit, and you ain't ever gonna be shit." That might have motivated me more. I don't know. I don't know in the moment. It's funny to think about it looking back. But yeah, in the moment, it was one of those things where you have these times where where you know you have these times in your life where you can either give up or keep going. And for me, that was one of those moments where I was very tired, and I was questioning myself and what it was that I was doing. And you know, she had said, "Don't worry, you'll get there." And 6 weeks later, I started applying for jobs, and about 4, 5, 6 weeks after that, I got my first one, and here we are. So it's one of those things. What do you do when you kind of get burnt out, take a break, and how to go back in normal cutting schedule after like a 2 month break? Hard to focus for a long time again. So first off, don't you ever take a 2 month break because you've just wasted probably 6 months. You don't take a 2 month break and expect that you're going to go and pick everything up, especially if you're not working as a developer. Secondly, what I would tell you is transition your learning. So if you're sick of building things, start going to meetups, start watching videos on it. You have to transition your learning so it keeps it fun, keeps it fresh. Was your first job the one in Florida? Sort of, yeah. I consider it my first real full time dev job. I had two sort of semi dev roles. I had a web design internship that lasted for about 3 to 6 months because I was hired as an intern, then hired me as a freelancer for about 3 months after that. And then I took a business analyst slash like technical writer role Then I had my first full-time salaried dev role after that. Six months in, so front end HTML, CSS, and a framework. Yeah, I would pick up Git. I would also really try to understand responsive design, mobile first design, testing. Is your job going to be recruiting junior front end devs in the next few months? No, I don't think my work hires juniors. We hire people with like the lowest we go is like senior associate, which is like 2 years experience. I think you're now on the downhill of success. Is going to get exponentially better with a third of the effort. If it was up to me, we hire juniors left and right. Yeah. If they would let me hire who I want to hire, I'd hire 4 people straight out of boot camp, and they would be contract to hire, and I would I'd cut them if they didn't improve in 3 to 6 months. Is there a real difference between a 1-year junior and a 2-year senior? Depends on the effort. Overhead is too high. Yeah, that's the thought process behind it. How do you gain experience for companies looking for experienced people? You get good enough that you're just a developer without a job, without any experience, and your resume has to prove that. Is there much more to know about Git than polling, committing, and hosting? Well, you have to understand branches. You have to understand good commit messages. You have to be able to handle merge conflicts. But more than that, that's 90% of it. Data science really different from being a developer? Yes, it's very math heavy. You're not necessarily building things as so much as analyzing things. Although I say that without being a data scientist, but that's my understanding. If I could get a job in 3 months, it'd be so much better from just practice. Yeah. I would expect probably 80 hours a week out of junior devs that would work under me. Not at work per se, but I would hire somebody with the understanding 80 hours a little 60 hours, 40 hours with me, 20 hours on your own. And if I didn't like where you were at in 3 to 6 months, I'd cut you. But it's not up to me. So, and we don't hire juniors. But that would be what I would do, because I can tell if you're putting the effort in. If I give you a shot and you don't take advantage of it, and it happens all the time, man. It happens all the time where you start working with developers who they get that first job and then they just replace that first year. They repeat that first year 10 years in a row. You get people to show up, can't tell you the difference between asynchronous, synchronous code. You get people to show up who can't tell you pass by value, pass by reference. That, simple things that are universal almost. Yeah, Kevin, coding's not everything. I don't need someone necessarily master. There's a lot of things to consider when working with people. Have you ever had a job require non-compete? Not that I can remember. But none of the industries I've worked in would really require one. Do you think you've hit the floor to ceiling already? I don't know, man. I've probably hit the senior dev ceiling within 5 to 10K. But once I become a tech lead or a team lead or something like that, I can probably go up another 25 or 30,000 from where I'm at right now. I also think my value is changing as I mature in my career. I'm a very attractive candidate to candidates. And what I mean by that is that if you're interviewing for my team, and I say this having done interviews, and people are very excited to work with me. And I don't say this as like, oh, I'm the greatest and the best. I'm just saying from a candidate standpoint, if you recognize me, and I'm starting to get recognized more and more during these interviews, you are typically very excited to work with me because you know that you know what I stand for. I stand for quality, I stand for clean code, I stand for testing, and I stand for getting better. And a lot of these people, when I'm interviewing with them, typically we give it questions at the end. They want to know um, how much sort of mentoring I'll be providing when you're working with me and things like that. And so um, from a candidate perspective, for companies who are looking to retain talent and get new talent, it's something um, that is very attractive to a lot of companies. I can sell a lot of developers on being on my team. I feel like at times, if I wanted to. I like all your videos, but your sub count never goes up. It's clearly rigged. I probably just have to put out more videos down the road. I not gonna do it this year, but I will focus on getting that sub count. Next year's goal is to hit 100K. Um, so I'm gonna be focused on that, but I got a couple things in the pipeline in the meantime. I want to get that silver play button, man. It's gonna look good right there on the wall. When I was coding, I experienced that I couldn't get away from coding. It was always in my head. How do you switch away from it? I mean, do you want to? That sounds good. Um, all right, guys. We've been going about an hour. I'm getting a little tired. Thank you to Jonas, who's going to let me use his review. Again, if you've taken my algorithms course and you want to leave a review for it in the comment section so I can use it, as well as if you don't mind your photo from your icon being there, it'd be appreciated. And if you've taken any of my courses, if you could go and give them a 5-star review, it's always very much appreciated and help me out. And if you haven't taken it, might you check them out in the description below for $9.99, where you can use coupon code CodingGod or use the links to get the 100 algorithm challenge, the 100 front end technical interview questions, and go ahead and slay those interviews. With that all being said, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.